Thing we've learned about business and life is that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Syya, and welcome to the Gnaw on This Business Bites podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of Gnaw on This Business Bites. I'm Ben, and this is Syya. And here's a subject that I talk about incessantly. It's not how other people act, it's how we react that matters. The world is going to do what the world is going to do. We need to control what we can control, and quite honestly, we control very little. Very little of what goes on in our life do we have absolute and utter control over. The only thing that we truly probably do is how we react in any particular situation. The world is going to throw things at us. We're either going to dive left, we're going to dive right, we're going to duck, we're going to jump up, or we're going to get hit between the eyes. It's up to us to decide which way we're going to go. So, Syya, let's gnaw on this.
Ooh-wee, did you see that truck
running
my bus over? You know, this is like one of my all-time favorite topics because maybe my mom's Buddhism is rubbing off on me, or maybe my own personal life experiences has made me give less cares like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it I'm just tired to care? That's another component. But
Well, we're older and wiser. I'm willing to go we're older and wiser.
I like that. You know why? Because not everything. Do you remember when we were in high school and everyone in the audience, raise your hand, give us a high five and clap. When you were in high school or middle school, were you just, especially ladies, where you just screamed, no one understands me. I can't believe you. I never said I hate you to my parents, but that moment of like, oh my God, I just dislike where I'm at right now because the whole world's coming, falling apart on you because, Billy liked Mary but you liked Billy and the world is coming to an end and everything's crying and coming. And you got to be plus on a test and therefore everything's a failure. I mean, I think over time we learn that things happen to you, but in the grander scheme of life, it could be thought of as a lesson to learn from or something to just roll it off your back. Ain't your monkey, ain't your circus.
One of my favorite sayings. I love that.
I say that every fracking day, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to pull you into dramas because of their inability to react to certain situations. And I, as a codependent person, would think I could help everybody under the sun, and you cannot help. If you find center in your life, then you probably don't need that need to help others as well. So even though I feel like I've got low drama in my life, but yet drama keeps coming back to me, there's probably drama in your life you're just suppressing in some way because you're attracting it.
We all have drama in our life. There's always drama around it. As I say, the circus revolves around me on a daily basis. The circus is always there. People die, people are born, people are blown up, people shoot each other, people hate each other. The world does what the world does. And the problem is there's certain people that get caught up in it. And they're on that endless social media scroll. They're on that end, just sit there, oh my God, what's the next video? Oh my God, look, this is going on, that's going on. And oh my God, and the world's coming to an end and everybody hates me and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, 5 hours have gone by and they're in no better position. In fact, they're probably worse than they were 5 hours ago. And the question is, what can you do to control things? I'm a big believer of the world is a very big place. I influence a very, very small corner of it. I can do what I can do, and that's all I can do. And my hope is the little bit of sunshine that I try to bring into the world, other people take that sunshine and try to spread it elsewhere. But what they do with the sunshine is up to them. They can sit there and stomp on the sunshine, and that's on them. I can teach people how to communicate more effectively. If they do it, great. If they don't do it, that's on them. And I can't take on the entire world's problems. Says, oh my God, I showed them how to do this and they didn't do it. And oh my God, the world has gone to hell in a handbasket. Maybe it does, but you know what? You've done what you can do to try to make it better. And I think that if we all adopt that thing, that there's nothing wrong with helping people. I'm a big believer in helping people. If somebody asks me for help, I'll help them. But if you come to me with a problem, you better have 2 solutions, and I'll talk you through the solutions, but the solutions have got to be your own. I'm not going to come up with every solution for every one of your problems for you, but I'll help you work through 2 ideas that you have to see which one's the better, and then empower you to go off and do things on your own. But if I sit there and take on everybody's problems and take on everybody's world, I don't have time for my own world. And maybe that is, going back to the last conversation, maybe that's being a little narcissistic. But I believe that we have the ability to control how we react and what we do next. And I think that's something that comes with age and experience and being beaten up and having a few more scars. Because we all, at some point of our life, have taken on everybody else's problems. And it's not that I don't. It's not that, my son doesn't come up to me and I roll up my sleeve and I jump in and I go, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You should have let him fall on his face and learn from it. But we all do that because we love people. But the more we can sit there and say, okay, how can I put myself in a position where I can be there, but I'm not doing it for them? Everybody's life is better.
If they can receive it as such.
If they can receive it as such, and they don't receive it as you being callous and unhelping.
I struggle with boundaries for me, because if I see someone that I think I can help them on something, I have a tendency to help, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it gets to the point where now it's expected of me to help people, and I don't put my foot down to be like, I'm not going to wipe your you-know-what for you. I gave you the toilet paper, people. You know what I mean? And that's a reaction, right? To, is it, and I hate to say it, I'll just fess up. Sometimes sometimes the time it takes to explain to do something, I'll just do it myself, right? That's not healthy.
No, it's not.
And I get it. That's something that's my cross to bear. And that's my reaction to, I need to learn to just slow down, maybe articulate and communicate more clearly, communicate my expectations of what the deliverable I think should look like or be, blah, 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 and all that good stuff. But I got to ask you this question, Ben. There are just some people in this universe where you just see them repeatedly ask for help, for trying to change, quote, reactions on things, but they just become assholes and they really don't change.
No.
How would you look at that? Because I've gotten to the point where now I'm just an a-hole where I'm like, you're an asshole and I am now done. I will shut down, and I don't think that's healthy either. So I don't know. Do you think people who are assholes have the ability to change, or am I okay to just shut it down and be like, yeah, I'm done with you because you're not going to improve. You're not trying to improve. You're trying to punt off the work that you need to do onto me. So do you think it can be done?
I think that there's 2 levels of people. There's the people that don't care and are just looking for other people to do everything for them. And then there's the people that if they had more confidence in themselves, they would be better off and be able to take care of their own self and be able to wipe their own nose. And I think it's being able to determine which is which. Because you know what? Sometimes there's a hard line in the sand and you have to sit there and say, you know what? I'm sorry, I just don't have the time for that. I'm sorry, I'm busy. No, sorry, I'm really no. Yeah, I know. This is the 32nd time you've asked me. I'm sorry. I just don't have the time right now. And sooner or later, they either get it or they don't. And then there's the people out there that sit there and say, okay, this person needs some mentoring. This person needs some coaching. This person needs someone to show them that, you know what? You're not incapable. You're not stupid. You do have a brain, and you do have, something going on between your ears, and giving them the tools to be able to be better. But you can't, either way, you can't do it for them. Whether it's the asshole or it's somebody that just needs some confidence in that. Either way, you have to sit there and you have to put your hands behind your back and be able to be there in a way where you're not doing things for them, but you're giving them the power to do it for themselves. And some people are just going to keep asking. And you know what? There's a limit to those people. And trust me, I've cut off enough people over a lifetime, let's just leave it at that.
Can I make one comment on that?
Go ahead.
Sometimes people don't want advisement from you, right?
Most people don't.
Learn. They don't want to hear feedback. So I'm just going to say it because it just made me think about it. There are some people who think sending blind DMs, pitch slappers, think it's a good idea. And there's actually a debate I was reading of people saying, no, I think it's a great way of marketing and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's your prerogative, my friend. I just want you to know people like me probably judge you and not well. Right. But others might be like, oh, I wasn't aware. Maybe I'll reach out to you. I don't know. But you will know where you stand with these people. And I think that's how you can set those boundaries too, to know how to react to them. Because there are days, my friend, some of these pitch slappers, they don't know any better. So if I'm in a mood and I decide to reply, am I enabling that behavior? Am I overreacting and being the a-hole, right? Where all they're doing is, ma'am, I'm just trying to make money, right? So
but
here's
the situation. This is from a guy who spent 20 years in the direct mail business. In the direct mail business, you realize that 3 to 5% of the people that you contact are possible customers. You just don't. High. You just have no idea which 3 to 5% it is.
Yeah.
You've gone after a list. You have a list of 50,000 names. You send out, a 5-email direct mail campaign, to 50,000 people. You get your 5%. You're laughing because you've made more than your money because you've built your campaign based on 2.5%. And if you get 5%, you've doubled your income. And so in a lot of cases with a lot of these people, and that comes with social media and everything, it's using a matter of it's creating a matter of the law of large numbers. And the majority of people you're going after, you're not trying to offend anybody. Your attitude is, I'm putting this offer out there, and either it resonates with you or it doesn't resonate with you. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's the thing. It's how you react. You can unsubscribe from me. You could block me. You could put my stuff in the round folder. That's on you, how you react. But I'm providing you with an opportunity to say yes, whether you say yes or you don't say yes. And it's a different thought process. It's because you as a person who's receiving this feel that this is going out, this is a personal slight against you. The person who's sending it is sitting there going, this is the law of large numbers. The more people that say no to me, the closer I am to saying yes. I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying that's how direct mail, and that's how, why people do what they do. Now they can do it better. They can have a better offer. They can have a better way of approaching, but that's why they do what they do.
I get it. And then I have to go back to my reaction to it, right? Because there are days, man, Ben, you know how affluent in French I can be, and yeah, which is why I'm glad that we had this conversation, because in all the end, most of these people know it's a game of numbers too. So if they're going to get 80% people telling them, kick, pound sand, they don't care because that's what they expect that. Right.
And what that does is that takes 80% off their list next time. So they don't have to go after those same people. They don't have to pay to send stuff out to those 80% next time because they're down to the 20% that actually pay attention to it.
Well, one would think so, but in social media, no, not on the LinkedIn.
Those people
just are relentless.
It comes down to, can you be better at what you do?
Yeah.
And there are people out there that just don't know how to do it well. And that's a different story altogether. That's a different entity. But anyway, we've digressed. I think we've beaten this thing to death. I think that we're in a situation that we all need to realize that it's up to us at how we react. How people act is on them. How we react, that is how we look ourselves in the mirror. I'm Ben.
I'm Syya.
And we'll see you soon.
Hey. Thanks for listening to another episode of Gnaw on This, Business Bites. If you liked what you heard, we most humbly ask that you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Gnaw on This, Business Bites.